You can love someone completely and still not know they've already left. That's the part no one tells you. They don't pack bags or announce it at dinner. They don't sit you down and explain that something has shifted. They just drift. And you keep building a life with someone who's already standing somewhere else. For 10 years, there was a rhythm to it all, a kind of quiet understanding, the kind of love that didn't need to announce itself every day. It just existed, comfortable, familiar, safe. And then one day, that safety became the thing that proved none of it was real. Because 2 months ago, everything collapsed. Not slowly, not after years of arguments or distance or cold silences, just suddenly. An affair, 2.5 months long, with someone 12 years younger, someone he'd known for less time than it takes most people to finish a season of their favorite show. And somehow, in that short window, he decided she was the one he loved, not the person he'd spent a decade with, not the person he married, her. The discovery itself was a betrayal, but what came after was something else entirely, something harder to name. Because he didn't apologize and beg to fix it. He didn't cry and admit he'd made a terrible mistake. He just looked across the table and said he didn't feel anything anymore. No romance, no desire, no emotional connection. He said if they stayed together, he'd always be thinking of her, that she was now the primary person in his heart, that when he was with her, he didn't think about his spouse at all, but when he was home, all he could think about was her. He said it calmly, like he was explaining a fact, like it was something that had simply happened to him rather than something he chose. There was a brief attempt at reconciliation, a few days where it seemed like maybe there was still a chance, where words like trying and rebuilding were used. But then he met with her again, over an hour together, crying, hugging, kissing. He told her how hard it had been without her, how difficult things were at home, how she brought him peace in a way nothing else did. He came back and admitted all of it. And when asked why, he said he couldn't let go of his feelings, that this wasn't just infatuation or a fantasy, that she felt the same way, that it was real. He called their situation tragic, impossible, something beautiful that couldn't exist because of age and guilt and circumstances. But he also said the marriage was over, that it had been for a while, even if no one knew it yet. The strangest part? Before all of this, there were no signs. No complaints, no distance, no late-night conversations about unmet needs or drifting apart. They talked about the future, made plans, celebrated anniversaries, shared a life that felt whole. When they describe being with someone else as peace and being with you as difficulty, when they can't even wait a week before pushing for it all to be legally over. People talk about closure like it's something you earn. Like if you ask the right questions or get the right explanations, it will all make sense. But sometimes there is no sense. Sometimes someone just decides they want something different, and they rewrite the entire story to make it feel justified. They say they were unhappy all along, even though they never said it. They say the connection with someone new is deeper, even though it's barely existed. They say they'll always love you, but they don't feel anything. And you're supposed to sit with that contradiction and find a way to move forward. The hardest part isn't the affair itself. It's the speed, the certainty. The way someone can spend 10 years with you and then 60 days with someone else and be completely sure the second one is real. It makes you question everything. Were they ever really present? Did they ever actually love you the way you loved them? Or were you just filling space until something better came along? And maybe the answer doesn't matter. maybe it never will. Because even if you got the truth, it wouldn't undo the fact that you're here now, watching someone you built a life with choose a version of the future that doesn't include you, and doing it fast. So fast you barely have time to understand what's happening before it's already done. There's no villain in this story, just two people who stopped being enough for each other. Except one of them didn't know it was happening, and the other one didn't say anything until they'd already found someone else. So where does that leave you? In a house that still smells like them, with memories that don't align with the ending, with a version of love that turned out to be something else entirely, and a timeline that moved faster than your heart could keep up with. People say time heals, that distance brings clarity, that eventually you'll see this as a beginning instead of an ending. But right now, it just feels like loss. The kind that doesn't announce itself. The kind that happens quietly, while you're still standing there believing everything is fine.